Today I thought I would try something a little different and react to my favorite video that I've made on the channel so far and take my own advice on it so you can have an idea of how to implement some of the stuff that I talk about in that video. Here we go, let's jump right in. People go to the gym every day, then go home. Use a standing desk or equivalent while you work or play Minecraft. I do have my dresser and I have used that as a standing desk before. Fuck it, let's go right into that and hook up that setup. First things first, I gotta get this big bin off here so that I can actually access the dresser. Okay, perfect. Another thing I was thinking is we have this standing desk upstairs that I could potentially use. It's pretty nice. You just have this little lift up thing and it just, that would be great. Since it's not even my desk, I gotta see if it's even an option first. Put your mattress on the floor and either get rid of the frame, use a load to the ground frame, or try floor sleeping. Okay, here we go. Mattress on the floor time. So I've got this really nice light bed frame, so it should be easy to just collapse and put it away in the office or in the attic. First, I need to get all the stuff out from underneath my bed. An extra pull-up bar that I really don't need. Ball, baby! It would work. Got some wood for building a hangboard when I get around to it. I'm gonna grab a vacuum. I don't know if I really do have enough room. That might get crushed. Fuck. This collapsible bed frame, it's easy to take down and store somewhere. So if you or somebody likes sleeping on the ground, but then you also want to have the option to have a bed in one of your rooms, you can just get something like this. Yeah, that's so nice. Okay, so I've not really been taking notes, mostly because I know all this stuff already, but it's good to actually implement it. So less about note taking. For a lot of it, you just need to implement it. Low to the ground couches and chairs that we become accustomed to regularly expressing full range of motion. In the video I had mattresses, but that was mostly for example, and I got rid of the one floor chair that I had. I'm gonna go grab one of those mattresses and put it in here somewhere. Now that I think about it, I'm not actually sure if I used those mattresses in the video. I may have just used couch cushions, but these are pretty good. Okay, fuck it, I'm going with the purple one for now. Okay, so here's the solution that I came up with. I've got the standing desk here, right? And then when I'm too tired and I don't want to just use the chair, I'll default to this and I'll just shove it back, flip it up like that. Makes a nice comfy little chair like that. And then this bin, I can scoot it forward and it acts as my little desk. Use a squatty potty or equivalent. A squatty potty allows you to elevate your feet so that you're squatting. Yeah, squatty potty time. We have a squatty potty upstairs, but we don't have one downstairs, which is where I actually use the bathroom most of the time. So the solution that I've come up with, make a note in the downstairs bathroom to remind me to just use the upstairs bathroom. Apparently that also helps with not having to do the toilet maintenance as much, just the way the composting toilets are situated. Probably just like right there. James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, has a great mantra for this concept of space-specific activities. It goes, one space, one use. I saw this one guy who had all these computers and e-ink devices, really nice stuff, but he had like social media and stuff blocked on a lot of them, except for this one crappy laptop that he kind of kept in the corner, and that he could watch YouTube and do that sort of stuff on. So I do have a crappy Windows laptop, kind of considering maybe that's the move. It's a hard one partially because I have such a tiny environment. For now, the one thing that I'm doing is setting an intention to use social media more outside of my room than in my room. It seems like I've been doing that a decent amount lately already, so I don't think it would be that hard to make it more of a conscious decision to do that. I'm not making it a rule, but that's where I feel like I'm at right now. For automatic movement can be aided by removing distractions that would otherwise nudge you to be sedentary. This can mean eliminating extra chairs around the house, or putting a blanket over your TV, or keeping it in an armoire with doors. Putting distractions out of sight. The biggest time that I feel like I need to do that is at night time. I have a safe and a lockbox for the phone and safe for the computer. Once they're in the boxes, I don't feel a need to get them. So I don't think that locking it is necessary right now, making it a habit to put them away at a certain time. I'm going to grab the safe and put it kind of in a central place in the room. That's where my laptop will go at night. I will be committing to putting my phone in the box and my laptop in the safe at 10 p.m. every night that I'm home, and no other urgent activities or activities with friends obstruct that. It's just putting the stuff in the boxes. I can take them back out if I want to. It's more about just putting them in there. Committing to that for a week. Using a door frame pull-up bar. If you have a bar on your door frame that you walk through regularly, its ease of access can be inviting and make the chances of you doing pull-ups much more likely. Door frame pull-up bar time. Figured out a while back that I could put my pull-up bar up here where my desk is, but I've just noticed that I have not been using it hardly as much as when I had it actually on my door frame. Much better. I think also put these rings down, although they are more annoying to walk through. Just having them there is the difference between me going over there and hanging on them and actually doing exercise on them when they're here, because they're freaking so convenient. So I can actually just pick out some Australian pull-ups. I really admire people who can just work out all the time, meaning that they, just think to drop and do 20 push-ups or do this here and there just with some weights, and who actually make significant progress just from kind of greasing the groove or doing little bits here and there. And I think people don't quite understand that actually is a way that you can meaningfully make progress without needing to have a strict routine. Now, obviously, if you're trying to get super big or achieve certain specific results, then you're going to have to do the type of training that works for that sort of thing. But I know a lot of people who are really strong who don't follow a specific routine, and a lot of people who don't conventionally exercise or train just to work out. They'll do hard manual labor, do other intense activities that require strength that aren't necessarily going to the gym. But then there are just ways that you can kind of incorporate or encourage certain productive movements like those Australian pull-ups and stuff that work the muscles in your back and get you stronger just by doing some here and there. This is a way better approach than trying to come up with the perfect routine and then not being consistent with it. Lower the bar to entry and then enter, motherfucker. Rings to the pull-up bar for conveniently doing things like dips and Australian pull-ups. Another example would be keeping dumbbells or kettlebells on the floor somewhere in a place that's easy to see and easy to access. Dumbbells right now, they're kind of just in the corner. I think honestly, if I just make them super centerpiece, if I make my room look a certain way, like right now it doesn't quite look like the most feng shui perfect room, but it's the kind of room that's accomplishing exactly what I want it to accomplish. Because if you're trying to make a room that looks aesthetically pleasing and everything, that's one thing. But if you're trying to create an environment that has specific things in it that will kind of unfold in a way where you're doing those certain activities just naturally based on the design of your room, then it might not look quite the same as something that's perfectly designed, but it could also look pretty cool. All that said, I'm kind of thinking that I just want to put the dumbbells right smack in the middle of the room, so I might do that more with my workout equipment, is just kind of throw it in different places. It might look kind of messy, I might look kind of nice, but the functionality is there, so I'm gonna test that out. Here we go. There we go. I'm gonna probably just hang up these ropes on those hooks over there, and then those will be way more in sight as opposed to being just back in the corner. That's great. Mats on the floor for a nice place to move and stretch. Although, beware of endocrine disruptors from plastic mats that can fuck with your hormones. I just read one time in this book that a lot of yoga mats are kind of made out of plasticky stuff that's really not good. I'll go grab the yoga mat. There's also a good place in the living room where I can do myofascial release and stuff like that, so I'm not too worried about having a space in my room for that. You know what, fuck it, let's just see what happens. Perfect. I put the mat on the floor. I might change my mind about it later. We are definitely keeping with the theme of don't give a fuck about feng shui. And I can put my myofascial stuff over here. I'm just realizing this video feels really weird because it just kind of feels like I haven't really been following my advice from that video hardly at all based on how many changes I've been able to make so far. I have a Bosu ball in the dining room for bouncing and balancing on, as well as a stationary bike that is also convenient. The Bosu ball, that's been under my bed for the longest time. The stationary bike is still in the dining room. The Bosu ball, I might also try to go put that over by the bike. If that gets thwarted, then maybe I will put it in here somewhere, but there's not a whole lot of room. I also want to finish this little part of the video because I know it's about to talk about a Swiss ball. Swiss ball handy is also a great invitation to play. Swiss balls are so freaking fun, although probably toxic AF considering the synthetic material they're made of. And there's the Bosu ball. Now it's time to grab the Swiss ball. Okay, so this is kind of a pain in the ass because I only have the small tip right now and got a big hole. So sometimes you just gotta use your mouth and see what happens. I forget how big this one's supposed to be. Oh shit, it looks so bad. Look at how misshapen this thing is. I think it'll work for good stability work without necessarily needing to be the perfect shape. Probably a good analogy for like what a hernia is. I was about to say that I have no freaking idea where the Swiss ball is going, considering the small room, but honestly, maybe it's time to get rid of this chair. Wow, this is ass. I don't know about the ergonomics of this. It's way shorter. I'm gonna contemplate that later. I'm gonna go get the chair back though, watch more of the video. Using the Swiss ball as the chair is not completely out of the question, but I would definitely have to figure out a way that I could, figure out the ergonomics. Got equipment scattered around your house. Then you can be more intentional and buy unique equipment that matches the aesthetic of your house. Maybe something made of wood or metal that accents your other furniture well. Or even use furniture that doubles as workout equipment, like the concept designs for FurFit. There's a nice staff up there, a stick that is fun for doing like staff work with. It's like a nice bamboo stick. Staffs are pretty cool. But yeah, I'm gonna go put this in the corner. Furniture that doubles as workout equipment. I don't really think there's a whole lot in there for me right now. I kind of just use furniture as workout equipment anyway. Let me just test this chair out, see if it's even good for like something like dips. That works pretty well. I could make a sticky note and put it on the side or tape a little note that just says dip, just to remind me to do a couple of those. It's kind of just a reminder in general that I can use things like furniture as workout equipment. And also maybe that I should learn some more dips for partner dancing, because that'd be a nice skill to learn. Parkour is just one example of how people take advantage of an urban environment in order to move well. There's a parkour module in the School of Biomechanics that I'm a part of that Tim Sheaf does. That would be a good thing to check out again. I think I'm going to commit to watching more of it today, then potentially work on that module more later, the parkour module. Urban settings can also be great places to do calisthenics. Urban settings are good places to do calisthenics. I was doing some at the beach the other day. Well, not exactly the beach, but kind of by the water on some of those bike racks. That's just another little drop in the bucket of reminding me to explore more things like that. You have a choice to make your home a place for community, connection, and physical activity. I wonder how I could do that more. Community, connection, and physical activity. Honestly, I feel like I don't do a lot in the way of that. Like, I'm not a very good cook. I don't cook very much, but it would be fun to invite more people over to this house. Because often a lot of my friends, I usually go hang out with them at their place. And, they came over here recently, and it's also, I share this house with other people, but it'd be fun to have more events. There's like community building, so maybe having more events like that, the community building. I know something I can commit to. This doesn't have to do specifically with having a big physical space. There have been people that I've been wanting to play basketball with. Starting that group chat, I think, is what I want to commit to. There's a quote from movement guru Ido Portal that's on the wall in his gym that I really like. Let them dirty the walls, motherfuckers. My walls are kind of scuffed up a little bit. This doesn't mean to throw mud on the walls. We'll get to mud walls shortly. But rather to give people permission and freedom to fully inhabit a space, to do handstands against the wall, or to play floor as lava. When you're in public spaces where really fully expressing your physicality is not going to hurt anyone or harm anything, part of giving permission is giving yourself permission to fully inhabit a space, to do animal walks in the park, or swing from the bars and do handstands and just intuitive movement and things like that. All those things that you might do if you were alone that would feel really good, but if you are able to do those when there are other people, then it also can contribute to an environment where, hey, this is a safe place to be able to fully inhabit. I think the actionable thing there is just to brainstorm about places where I don't fully inhabit the space and come up with ideas for how to fully inhabit a space. So I'm going to write that down. Your house could be that space, and you can keep your nice paintings too. Just maybe put them in a place where they won't get wrecked if people are wrestling and doing jiu-jitsu in the living room. I remember as a kid bouncing bouncy balls around the house and trying to bounce them up and down the stairs. We had some close calls with some vases, but in my mind it was so worth it. Let's go look for bouncy balls. Okay, so I didn't really find any bouncy balls in the crawl space, but I did find we have actually quite a few tennis balls, so that'll be fun. I used to do a lot of stuff kind of like the Ido Portal stuff where you're punching the tennis ball against the wall and trying to get the timing and coordination going. Also found some other fun stuff that would be fun in the summer, so spike ball, coordination cones, maybe play with those, and definitely frisbee. I did find a bunch of other toys that are pretty nostalgic, like Legos and Kinects and Nerf guns and stuff, so That might be fun for the summer. Your space can get as wild as you want it to. The table can be a place for you to lay on, if it's sturdy. That was actually such a fun table. Such a nostalgic table. Oh my gosh. I'm kind of wondering about getting a table like that just to put in the yard somewhere. It's kind of fun to just go lay out on a table, like a little wooden table like that, without needing to lie down on the grass type of thing or in the dirt. You can read like that or just hang out. It is something I'm thinking about. I grew up in a co-housing community, and many of the fond memories that I have are climbing trees or running from house to house through people's backyards with Nerf guns or sticks pretending that we're zombies. It saddens me that so many kids don't get to have that experience. A lot of people are even lucky to have a backyard, and even then, it's probably walled off from the rest of the neighborhood. If you want to learn more about living in community, there's a great website directory you can find at ic.org, IC for Intentional Community. I haven't really visited that website much, especially in a while. So I'm gonna make a note to check that out, just to see what other communities are up to. Though the architecture of your house might already be in place, there's still an opportunity to build movement into the design of your house, such as using a ladder for a loft, or using a fireman pole, or making weird stairs out of rocks, and finding unique ways to make going from one space to another more interesting. One way that I was thinking it would be interesting to make going from one place to another is to actually put the Bosu ball in the doorway, because I just had it there when I was moving stuff, and it was kind of fun to just step on and climb over every time you walk through the door. You get reminded that it's there every single time you go through the door. What if your house solved the problem of sedentary living? Maybe through furniture that doubles as workout equipment, or windows and murals that create more flow and openness and make your spaces more fun to move in. The mural part, I'm not about to paint on my walls right now, but I do have some art that I want to put on the wall that I think is going to encourage some movement. There's a lot of stuff in here that I just completely forgot even existed. There are a lot of really cool ones. I think this one's the one that I was looking for though. I think it just would encourage more movement based on kind of the movement, and yeah, I like it. I think that's a pretty good start. I'll digress for one moment to mention that I found that the landscape and climate around me contributes immensely to how active I am in the world. I've lived in the woods most of my life, and in contrast with this, being out in wide open spaces seems to be more inviting for me. I can actually see places where I'd like to walk to or go explore. By contrast, living in the woods can seem almost claustrophobic. That being said, it can also help to have variation in the landscape, like mountains, which adds an enticing place to adventure across. So I'm in the woods right now, living in the woods. It's been alright. I think it's getting better as the weather's getting better, more sun even through the woods, but there are plenty of open spaces. I just have to seek them out, though I would like to adventure more across, desert mountain spaces. But also there's a lot of mountains that I have not explored that are in this area, and all I have to do is get my ass out the door. The thing that I can commit to is asking my friends if they want to do a trip like that. You don't have to be alone in your endeavor to create spaces for fitness and community. Maybe your neighbors will warm up to the idea of tearing down all the fences, gates, and walls to create spaces for kids and adults to play. There's an amazing video that explores concepts like this called How to Turn Your Neighborhood into a Village that I highly recommend watching. He highly recommends watching it, or I do, so might as well watch it again. I'm going to commit to watching that video later today. It's a super inspiring video, so I'm hoping I can get more inspiration from it again. Maybe it's time to cross the road and invite your neighbors to come outside, to break the habits of sedentary life and escape the matrix of architecture. The world is your playground. Go play. Invite my neighbors to come outside and escape the matrix of architecture. I might see if my friend wants to play some b-ball. He's not exactly in the neighborhood, but short drive away. He said yes, so I'm off. Have a good rest of your day. Love you guys. Bye.